And good morning, Savannah and the Low Country. I just got too many buttons I got to press in this morning. And it's the Karl DeMasi Sports Report right here on the Coach's Corner Soundgarden stage because it's presented by Coach's Corner. It's also part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network. Yeah, I got papers flying all over the place. Seems like last night, Cowboy in the Soundgarden, the tribute band. So, towels all over the place. They probably got hit by a good rainstorm. And Lawrence Bennett, if you're checking it out, let me know if the speaker's working. Everything's going good. Like I said, it's all been last minute. And check, 1, 2, 3. Sounds like the speaker's working. Okay, so let's start from the top. Good morning, Savannah and the Coastal Empire. Welcome to the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, presented by Coach's Corner, right here on the Coach's Corner Soundgarden stage, because it's all part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network. What is the Coach's Corner Sports Network? We have 4 shows, okay? 3 that go live on Facebook and YouTube. 1's a podcast, okay? So we got, of course, the Karl DeMasi Sports Report every Saturday morning right here on the Soundgarden stage, unless I pre-recorded it. Had a special occasion last week. I'll get that to it last weekend. I'll get that to a second. Then, of course, every Wednesday night, the Atlanta man, Brandon Bain, talking all things NASCAR. Check it out. Does a great job. And, of course, the OG, slow down, Coach, the producer of the Coach's Corner Sports Network shows, Lawrence Bennett. Then we have 1 show that goes live 1 week at the Masters, the Augusta, big-time Augusta PGA golf tournament, the Masters with the Herb brothers, Sean and Brent Herb. And then 1 podcast, usually every Wednesday night, but I had to take off. Like I said, it was a special weekend, special week for me last week. So it's the Who's on First Base Baseball podcast with the coach and Kyle Lawson. Go to Podbean, go to Facebook, go to iTunes, TuneIn Radio. You can catch the Who's on First Base Baseball podcast there. But special guests, like I say every week, the guests run the show. All right? First of all, before I get into the guests, just to let you know, last week was pre-recorded. Wednesday night, we didn't do a podcast. Why? Because this old guy is going to be a grandpa. Not 1, but 2. That's right. My son, Russell DeMasi, and his wife, Kate DeMasi, are having twin girls in the DeMasi household. I can't wait. Been waiting to be a grandpa. They say it's the greatest thing in the world. Can't wait for that to happen, okay? So that's why I missed Saturday. That's why it was recorded. All live guests, though. All new guests. It wasn't the best of, because how many times you want to hear me do the same show over and over again? And then, of course, Wednesday night, I got back Wednesday night, couldn't do the podcast. But it ties into the guest today. First of all, of course, I play 4 quarters or 5 quarters every weekend. This week, today, is only going to be 4. Couldn't get a Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic after the week because when I got back, everybody had their weekend booked. So we'll have our Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic Athlete of the Week back next week. If you got a kid that's done something special, please call me, email me. Right here at the bottom of the page, call me, email me. I don't know if the prepsportsreport.com email is working, so you might want to go to karldemasi at gmail.com. I'll change that. But call me. Let me know about the kid. I want to get these special kids on. So once again, the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic won't be here. So first quarter, that's me, what I'm doing right now, to about 9:12. Second quarter, hey, it's July 8th, 2023. We're only 22 days away from opening day, opening camp for Georgia high school football. Why not have the man himself, the voice of Georgia high school football, John Nelson from the Georgia Public Broadcasting Sports Team, coming on, talking about that. So he'll be on about 9:15. Usually about 9:30, 9:35, we do the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic after the week. Hopefully John and I will go a little longer. Then we'll get into the man that does the Wednesday night podcast with me, Kyle Lawson, on the Who's on First Base Baseball podcast. We've been doing for 7 years now. He'll join us and talk about the Braves, talk about MLB, talk about the All-Star game. That'll be about 9:45, and then I'll wrap it up in the fourth quarter, 3 steps out the door, where I take my 3 favorite videos, social media videos, reels, whatever you want to call them, and show you what I enjoyed them a lot. Hopefully you do too. And then my Karl's Corner, which is my editorial about something about sports, whether it's national or local. So once again, getting ready to go. And if you have a comment, you have a question, just let me take this banner away. Right there, the man himself. You know, he says good morning every Saturday morning, but he's behind the scenes because he tells me if my mic's on, tells me if my mic's off, tells me I didn't do it right. But anyway, Lawrence Bennett, love you, brother. Happy birthday, I think, last week. You deserve it, and you do a great job with all the sports shows here on Coach's Corner, all the media blurbs, what's going on in the Sound Garden. I mean, he does a great job. Lawrence Bennett, you the man, Lawrence Bennett, you the man. Thank you for getting me on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. All right, so there's the show. Let's get into what happened this week. Let's get into some local news. You know, everybody says, oh, there's no high school sports. I'm telling you right, hold it. The man, the number one fan of the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, Dennis Kessler. Good morning, Dennis. Thank you for let me tell me to have a great show. I am at Coach's Corner. I am on the Sound Garden stage. The TV screens are down. There's 9 75-inch TVs, so I can't get my logo up there. But I'm on the Sound Garden stage. Oh, say, can you see? Hey, maybe I could sing at the Savannah Bananas games. Nah, I don't know if that'll happen. But anyway, I'm on the Sound Garden stage, Dennis. Hopefully everything goes right with your procedure. Love seeing you here every Saturday morning. And as always, he's a Calvary Day School fan. Go Cavs. Thanks, Dennis, for checking in. So if you got a comment, please make that comment and we'll talk about it. You got a question? You got something that you want to shout out? I don't know how to get live people in yet. I'm still working on that. So, okay. All right. Quarter number 1. 3 steps in the door. High school, college, pros, okay? Go to the prepsportsreport.com. There's so many stories about kids, what kids are doing. The Performance Initiatives Weightlifting Gym went to the 2023 U.S. Weightlifting Nationals. They had 15 records broken, had 3 national champions, 3 national team championship. I mean, go to the article on the Prep Sports Report. Performance incentives come home a little heavier. They brought home so many gold, silver, bronze medals. Check it out. You'll like it. I mean, it's just something special that you got to do. And then Bear Dolander, Savannah, Benedictine, he was leading the Southeastern Junior Golf Tour 15 to 14 age group. I'll try and get an update for you. Elliot Oliver at Savannah Christian, he finished in the AJGA event in Alabama. He finished tied for 4th. Benedictine alum, Carlton Holden, pitching for Team USA. Okay, they played Chinese team last week. This weekend, they're playing the Japanese team, Carlton Holden, Benedictine Military School, Vanderbilt, the Vandy Boys baseball program. He is the only player returning from last year's collegiate USA baseball collegiate team. The only one, Carter Holton, okay? We got the we got the Scholastic Clay Program Association Nationals out in Hawaii. I wish it was Hawaii. Out in Ohio, okay? And we got, of course, the Far City Gun Club finished 2nd runner-up in the States. But we also have the 17th South Rod and Gun Club also at the SCTB Nationals, okay? Check it out, Prep Sports Report. Another up-and-coming Benedictine golfer, Hughes Threckle, finished tied at the Golden Isles Invitational. Hannah Barrett, Richmond Hill, last year won the 6A state title. She was tied for 17th at the Georgia Women's Amateur. Last weekend was the Savannah Coastal Swim League Championships, the city meet at the Aquatic Center. Isle of Hope edges out Savannah Golf Club, okay, for the title. I think that's the first time Savannah Golf Club has lost in 4 years, so the Isle of Hope Sharks won that. And then, of course, the BC Cheerleaders went out to the National Cheerleading Association's went to the Regional National Cheerleading Association's Championships. Okay, I'm back in the saddle again. I'm bumbling and fumbling here, but I'm doing all right. And they got a bid to the National Championships in January. So check that out. That's another story on the prepsportsreport.com. Summer workouts, dead week is over. Start up again tomorrow. Go to July 31st. And then football, cross-country, volleyball. What else do we do in the fall? Flag football. They all will start up. Flag football doesn't start till September. So cross-country, football. I know I'm missing one. Okay, I'll get it for you. Okay, it's back in the saddle again. Okay, collegiately, step 2 in the door. Colleges, former Savannah State women basketball players, 3 of them, Savannah State is the only school to have 3 players in the historically black college university Dream Classic on August 5th. We got Mia Goulsbury, Takayla Austin, and Bria Gibbs. Okay, they've been all invited to play in that HBCU historic classic, All-Star Dream Classic. And where is it? You don't know anything about it. Rucker Park in Brooklyn, New York. Pretty excited. SCAD, new men's lacrosse coach Justin Moe comes from Kaiser University. Women's lacrosse coaching staff at SCAD was named the coaching staff of the year. Melody Shotwell does a great job. So congratulations to Justin Moe for being a new men's lacrosse coach, and for the women's lacrosse coaching staff for being the coaching staff of the year. Braves, last night, what can I tell you? 2 hits. They play the NL's best team, the AL's best team. I got to slow down today. Okay, Tampa Bay in the Trop in Tampa Bay, and they win 2-1. They only get 2 hits. Okay, but Sean Murphy hit a 2-run home run, and the red-hot Atlanta Braves begin the season series between the best records in baseball with a 2-1 victory with only 2 hits. All right, Charlie Morton was unbelievable pitching into the 7th inning. Then, of course, Murphy hit that home run. Atlanta now has 24 straight games that they have hit a home run in. Okay, and of course they've won. That's their 19th win in 21 games. Okay, today, Mr. Strider will face Rays rookie Todd Bradley. Bradley, who grew up with Braves fans, has given up 12 earned runs over 7 1/3 innings in his last 2 starts. Not too good. All right, quickly. This is, of course, Step 3 professionals. PGA Golf, Brian Harmon, last 2 events, he was top 10. He finished tied for 2nd at the Travelers and tied for 9th at Rocket Mortgage. Right now, he's 19th in the FedEx Cup and 26th in the overall world rankings. Champions Tour, Tim O'Neill, 12 events, 12 made cuts, 1 top 10 finish, 4 top 25 finishes, doing pretty good. Tim O'Neill. Gene Sowers hasn't played since April, so I got to find out what's going on. Okay, the Savannah Bananas this weekend, 2 games home against the Party Animals. This is game 53 and 54, the 87 Banana World Tour games. Last night was rained out. They were taking on the Florida Collegiate League All-Stars, and it got rained out. So they'll play them again tonight. So it won't be against the Party Animals. Just so you know, this summer the Bananas are 26, 24, and 2. But against the Party Animals, they're 18, 21, and 2. And in their challenges, they're 8 and 3. So tonight, game 54 against the Florida Collegiate League All-Stars. Sorry, it's sold out. Next week, they'll be in Kannapolis on Tuesday and Wednesday. They get a day for travel on Thursday, and they'll wind up being in Durham, North Carolina, home of the Durham Bulls. Okay, Savannah Clovers, 1-8 and 2. They're in 9th place. They lost Wednesday night to the Michigan Stars, 1-0. They'll be home July 15th against Flower City at Memorial Stadium at 7 p.m. Right on task. Okay, quickly, let me get this out here. What's going on in the Soundgarden stage? Okay, tonight we got the Marsh Tackies. You like Southern Rock? 7 o'clock. Get your tickets at Eventbrite. Next Saturday, we got Elton John live. That's right, Elton live right here on the Soundgarden stage, the Elton John Experience. Then a week later, Saturday, July 22nd, we got Forever Janice and All Fired Up. Tributes to Janis Joplin and Pat Benatar. Okay, then we come back the following weekend. We got back-to-back nights like we're doing this weekend. Last night was Cowboy Kid Rock Tribute Band. Tonight we got the Marsh Tackies. On Friday, July 20th, we got the Fractions. That's on a Friday night at 7 o'clock. And then Saturday, you like the Ultimate Bon Jovi Tribute Band, you got to come see Slippery When We. All right, so I got that all in. Hope you enjoyed it. He hasn't clicked in yet, but he will. Next, I'll talk with the voice of Georgia high school football, the man himself, let me take this away, from the Georgia Public Broadcasting Sports Department, the man himself, one cute sports guy on social media, John Nelson. Be back in 3 minutes. Got to thank my sponsor. Once again, you're listening to the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, brought to you by Coach's Corner, because it's all part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network. All the time. That's Coach's Corner in Thunderbolt, Georgia, because Coach's Corner has been voted the best in Savannah for over 20 years running. It's no wonder why there's always sports, live music in the Soundgarden, and delicious and abundance of pub food. No matter what the season, there's always a reason to check out Coach's Corner. Pick your favorite sport, pick your favorite team, and pick your favorite TV, because Coach's is your place to be. Coach's Corner has been Savannah strong since 1991, is always open for dine-in service for lunch and dinner. Remember, Coach's Corner still has takeout service. Join John Henderson and the crew for the best burgers, wings, and now pizza too. You can place your order by calling Coach's Corner at 912-352-2933. That's right, remember that number, 912-352-2933. So make your next pit stop at Coach's Corner. And as always, make it a night to remember at Coach's. At Calvary Day School, we want our students to be fully equipped and on the cutting edge of academics, making a difference in our world. Your child will grow academically, physically, socially, and spiritually. At Calvary, it is so good to say we are one school with one mission and one vision: faith, academics, excellence, and building champions through Christ. Calvary Day School, we consider it a privilege to meet with your family personally. Call Philip Lee, Director of Admissions, at 351-2299. That's 351-2299.
For over half a century, it comes in uniforms, sporting goods, or trophies, Thompson's got you covered. From cleats to caps and best prices on the biggest brands, Under Armour, Adidas, and more. From baseball to soccer, volleyball to softball, and yes, football too. Every season starts at Thompson Sports Shop. Come get equipped at Thompson Sports Shop's new location, 6606 Abercorn Street, Suite 102 in Savannah. Open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and seasonal on Saturdays. At locally owned Thompson Sporting Goods and Trophies, come see where everyone is a winner.
You still want some real New York Italian food? Bada bing, bada boom. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering is open at 7630 Skidaway Road, Tuesday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., serving breakfast and lunch right here in Savannah, Georgia. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering has been serving the public for over 3 years. Now, if you want Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering goods delivered to your door, go online to SavannahTakeout.com or DoorDash.com, or just pick up the phone and call 912-354-2914. That's right, 912-354-2914. Kabish, and remember, we ain't New York style. We are New York at Rocky's New York Deli and Italian.
Weatherington Chiropractic Clinic. Your back hurts, another body part hurts all the time. It makes you mad. The pain drives you crazy. You just want to pick something up and throw it across the room, if you can. At the Weatherton Chiropractic Clinic, you get complete chiropractic care and pain relief to help you move better, have a less painful life, and of course, achieve a healthier lifestyle. The Weatherton Chiropractic Clinic is now located at 2 locations in Savannah, Georgia, at 329 Eisenhower Drive and in Pooler at 114 Canal Street, Suite 603. So visit Dr. Bart Weatherington at the Weatherington Chiropractic Clinic for all your chiropractic needs.
And good morning, Savannah and the Coastal Empire. Welcome back to the Karl DeMasi Sports Report. Today's show is brought to you by Coach's Corner, and it's right here on the Coach's Corner Soundgarden stage because it's all part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network. What more you want me to say? But I'm glad to be here. Hey, we're only 21 days away from officially preseason football practice here in the state of Georgia, and we do this every year. I met this guy a long time ago through a good friend of ours, Tommy Palmer, and Tommy Palmer was the man, the voice of Georgia high school. This man has now run with that shtick or that, and I'm saying it honestly and truly, he is the voice of Georgia high school football. He can tell you what happens on the South Coast, go across the tundra to the west part of the state, then you go to the northern tundra, then come down to the South Florida. I mean, this guy can tell you everything, okay? I mean, he's been doing this for 25 years or longer, as far as I know. He's a television journalist. He's a correspondent. Whatever Georgia Public Broadcasting System wants him to do, he's out at the championship games when it's raising and freezing. I know. What can I say? I love this guy. He does a great job, and I appreciate that he comes on my show every time I ask him. Never turns me down. The voice of Georgia high school football, the correspondent on the Georgia Public Broadcasting System himself. Joining me now in the Coach's Corner hot seat, John, one cute sports guy, Nelson. What's up, boss?
31, sir. This is my 31st year at Georgia Public coming up.
31 years. That's a long time.
I had, let's see, I started in the spring of 1994. And I know everybody's sitting there going, well, wait a minute. How is that 30 or 31? Well, it's like you have to start with that first number. And
right.
So, yeah, I started in the spring of 1994, answered a 3-line classified ad in the newspaper. You remember the newspaper, Coach? You remember newspapers? Those those things that you actually read,
Okay, I'm an old guy, and I am an old guy. And I lived so long, for the first thing I did was open the sports section. Never went to the front of the newspaper because, that only depressed you. Got to go to but now newspaper 3 days later, you get the same thing that you talked about Friday night. So what do you want me to do?
I answered when we had classified ads in the newspapers. Actually, I answered a classified ad and started in the spring of 1994. So year 30. Sorry, it's year 30. So 3-0 for me at Georgia Public.
Wow. Well, you know what, John? You do a great job. And, 1994, I came down here in 95, started coaching at Groves High School in 2000. And we met because of a nice guy named Tommy Palmer. And, it's been a friendship since then, even though we're so far apart. But, and I'm honestly, you are the voice of Georgia high school football. I don't care what anybody says. So you've taken that, you've run with it, and you've done a good job, even though you got a pretty good co-host, I must say.
Yeah, Hannah puts up with me. She really does. What I try to explain to folks is that when we do the shows and wherever we're doing them, whether it's game day or pre or post or podcast or whatever, it's kind of like grabbing onto a comet with both hands or trying to catch water with an open hand with me sometimes. So yeah, she puts up with me a lot, and it's basically you've got two musicians. And one of them likes to go and solo and riff and then gradually work his way back to the song that they were actually, performing in the first place. So, Hannah's like bass guitar. Hannah keeps the beat for me, and then she reels me back in when I've gone completely off the rails.
Well, you got two ladies. Behind every great man is a great woman. So you got Patty at home, you got Hannah in the studio, and, you better keep Patty happy with the Auburn Tigers. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah, you ain't kidding, brother. She knows it's going to be a bit of a long year, and so it will be interesting. But she is, meaning Patty, the boss is planning to make the road trip out to the Cal game in early September. So it'll be a place that she's never been to see a football game before, and so she's going to catch that early non-region game. And you see how I'm wired. I call it a non-region game. It's the non-conference game. It's a non-conference game, and so she's going to go and catch up with them at Cal with their new head coach, and so we'll see what happens. But she knows it's going to be a long year out of the blocks. Yeah,
in high school it's non-region. In college it's non-conference. But we'll give it to you. 30 years. Sometimes we bumble and stumble. So.
Oh well, I mean, these days I get my soccer and my football blended together. So when I'm doing interviews, sometimes I'll drop a soccer term in when I'm doing a football interview. So it's pretty funny.
Yeah, my next guest, he does the color. I don't know if he does the color or play-by-play for the Savannah Clovers on their internet broadcast when they're home, Kyle Lawson. So he does that too. We're talking baseball. He starts talking soccer, or when he's talking soccer, he's talking baseball. I don't know what you guys do.
With you, brother.
He loves it just like you do. Okay, so the reason why I got you on here is to talk Southeast Georgia. I know we can go from the West Coast to the East Coast to the North Coast to the South Coast, all over the place, because Georgia High School State Association has everybody going everywhere. So I want to focus a little on what's going here in the Southeast, and I'm telling you right now, you got some teams getting a lot of notoriety. You got Benedictine in that 4A. You got Savannah Christian, Calvary in 3A. Bryan County, I just saw, was rated by one association as one of the top 20 teams in 1A. So we're going all over the place. But let's start with the big boys who go from the Southeast Coast to the West Coast back to the middle of the state, and that's, of course, Richmond Hill. So they got a lot of traveling to do. So talk about some of these teams here in the Southeast.
Oh, brother. I mean, with Matt Lazat, I give Richmond Hill, a lot of credit for diving into Region 1-7A. And I mean, they didn't have any choice in the matter, obviously, but the fact that they're in 1-7A, and last year they were 3-7, but you're doing it in one of the toughest regions, I'm going to say, in the country. And, we all know about South Georgia football. Last year, they started with the win over Effingham. Then they lose to Ware. A lot of folks lost to Ware last year. Then you play Jenkins, you get the win. Then you go up against Baker County out of Florida in the Georgia-Florida Classic. And then you got New Hampstead. You beat Kyle Hockman. You took them to overtime. And then you go into region play. And It's Camden, it's Valdosta, it's Lowndes, and it's Colquitt. And the thing about the schedule last year is that he had Camden on the hill and he had Colquitt on the hill. But, when you had Coffee leading into it, your schedule, the last half of your schedule, you played 3 teams that were top 7 ranked in their classifications. Coffee was top 10 in 5A. And 2 of your last 4 games were against 2 of the top 4 teams in 7A, and they're in your region. Your schedule last year had you playing Valdosta and Lowndes, both in the city of Valdosta.
Yes.
And so
back-to-back weeks, or I think there was a bye week thrown in there.
Yeah, there was a bye that was thrown in there. And when I was talking to Matt about it, I said this kind of half jokingly, I said, so are you just going to camp out there the entire time because of the hill to the first game, bye week, then you got to come back. And, it's like, so you're going to do all your classes virtually and all that kind of stuff. And so, it was just, you look at that, and that was a gauntlet that they ran through last year. And this year, with obviously everything flipped, that means that you're going to Kingsland, but that's just a drop down the freeway. And you get the schools from Valdosta coming to your place before you have to travel and finish your regular season in Moultrie. And the way that it's laid out for me, I talked to Matt about it, and people can go back and research on gpp.org. I did it as a column, and we did it as a podcast as well with me and Hannah. But what concerned me about the round of reclassification that we had, and we only have the one more year before we drop an A, and then we have 6 as our top classification, and I think that will help things out a lot, were the non-revenue sports and the secondary sports. In these cases where you're having to travel from one end of the state, and that you were joking about we could cover everything from north, south, east to west, but in 1-7A, you're basically going from the hill to Moultrie. All right, let's workshop this really quickly. I'm gonna do Google Maps, and I'm going to do the distance from Richmond Hill High School, and I'm gonna see if I can type as quickly as possible. So Richmond Hill High School, Wildcat Drive, Richmond Hill, Georgia. Okay, directions. So choose a starting point. I'm gonna start at Richmond Hill, and I'm gonna travel to Colquitt County High School. And I know that the stadium itself for football is in a different place. So let's to the Colquitt County High School football stadium from Richmond Hill High School. It is 195 miles from one end of the planet to the other. And it's basically taking you down from Richmond Hill to Brunswick and then shooting you over. That is a 3-hour and 31-minute drive under normal circumstances. Under abnormal circumstances where you're using the Yellowhounds, and you know this, Coach. You've driven those Yellowhounds across the state of Georgia. You know what it's like to have to go to region play. They got really smart about it, and they workshopped it too, where they're like, okay, what if we did region double headers? What if we found a midpoint and did it there? Those kinds of things, necessity is the mother of invention. And so that's what you ended up doing with a lot of these regions that are from one end of the state to the other. And I'm looking forward to reclassification and seeing how everything is reorganized after this year. But just the sheer travel of it in South Georgia, south of the Nat line, for me, it was going to be one of the concerns about non-region scheduling and how you're going to make all this stuff work out. And so I tip my hat to the entire region of 1-7A, the entire region of 1-6A, all of, 2 single A, all of these regions where you're having to travel from hither to yon, and they may not even be in your region. Hither High School and yon High School, they might be in somebody else's region, but you're having to travel from one to the other. I give all of the schools south of the Nat line a lot of credit for figuring all this stuff out for these 2 years.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Another team that's been hitting hard in Class 5A, Jenkins High School here in Savannah, Georgia. They missed the cut by, I think, 30 students, and they're doing the same thing as Richmond Hill. They're going all over the place, and, they're playing in another tough classification. So Jenkins is doing the same thing.
Yeah, you got Ware. Now, this was their schedule last year. And they had, they scheduled tough and they scheduled tight. Their non-region schedule, they played 3 teams that were top 10s at the time when they played them. They played Benedictine. They beat Bluffton. Then, once again, we talk about Richmond Hill. Richmond Hill got the win there. Then you play Carrollton at Carrollton. Then you played Wayne County at home. So you played the top team at the time in Quad A in Benedictine. You played the number 6 team at the time in 7A in Carrollton. And then you played the number 10 team at the time in Quad A in Wayne County. Then you go into region play. Ware, Greenbrier, Coffee, Bradwell, and Statesboro, and that one got wiped off the books last year. I think it was because of weather. But, I mean, think about it. You're Jenkins High School. You're right there where you are. You're at Coach's Corner. You got the Yellow Hounds parked right outside of Coach's Corner, and you're teasing me with Italian food. So you have to go from Savannah to Waycross. You're at home to Greenbrier. You're at home to Coffee. You go to Bradwell, which is just down the freeway, and then you're at Statesboro. But this year it's flipped. So you get Ware County at home, but still that travel to Waycross in one of 2 seasons. Greenbrier, which is basically like going to Augusta, so you've got to go up the Savannah River for your game there. Coffee, you've got to go down to Douglas, and there's no real direct route to get to Douglas, so it does take a little bit of time. And then heading in I-16 to go to Statesboro. So, once again, you have the Jenga that was put there for 5A, and it was a tough one for Tony last year, finishing 3-7. But obviously, because of region, you win 2 region games. You made the postseason before you lose to Warner Robins. But yeah, it's another one. Like I said, anybody below the NAT line, you had to get real imaginative last year, and you're going to have to get equally imaginative this year.
And they played with Warner Robins too. It wasn't a gimme. I think they were up like 14-12 at halftime or something like that.
Yeah, 31-13 final. Yeah.
So pretty exciting. Okay, first of all, people checking in here. I love this program, but Dennis Kessler, big Calvary Day School fan. John, he loves what you're doing. You do a great job. Have a good day. And talk about an OG coach from Jenkins High School. He does the softball and baseball. But Seth Gassman, who used to be an old football coach, checking in also. So people are watching what we're saying here, John. So that's pretty impressive. So, but once again, if you're just tuning in, you're watching the Karl DeMasi Sports Report on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or you're listening wherever you may be. So check it out. I'm here with the voice of Georgia High School from Georgia Public Broadcasting System, John Nelson. Okay, here's a team that I think people better watch out for.
Yeah.
Effingham County High School. Jaden Evans, Nate Hayes. They just added, I think, AJ Butts from Calvary. John Ford is a winner because, up there at Buford, okay, he did a great job there. So I'm telling you right now, John Ford's got a number of sayings that, I mean, he's a coach's coach, the way he comes up with all these sayings.
Yeah, and Ford tough in 6A, and 6A is going to be tough because I know that everybody is looking at Langston Hughes. You've got Air Nolan at quarterback, and it's going to be tough. Everybody chasing after that 15-0. In 6A, you're also looking at, and this is just the highlight package here. Hoco, Woodward, Roswell, Thomas County Central, Rome, Gainesville, Lee, Brunswick, Alpharetta, North Forsyth, Marist, North Atlanta, Northside Warner Robins with a new coach, River Ridge, who went to the playoffs last year, Creekview, Effingham County, Lovejoy, BT's got a new coach, Douglas County, Evans, Pius, Mundy's Mill, Allatoona, Paulding County. So that's what John Reed is, that's what John Ford is getting into when it comes to Effingham County this year. I mean, they finished 7-4 last year, but 6A is stacked. And I know that everybody's staring at Langston Hughes, but I want to see how you navigate region play and then the postseason, because for me, season 3, when the brackets line up, that for me is going to be the fun part in all of this. And getting these, and because 6A is so stacked, it is going to be that much more incumbent on teams to get that 1 or the 2 in region play. Right. And I always say this, and I'm going to remind folks about this once again. Season 1 sets you up for season 2, which sets you up for season 3. And what I mean by that is non-region sets you up for region, Region sets you up for playoffs. If the team that you love, and we could be talking Bryan, we could be talking Jenkins, we could be talking Jenkins County, we could be talking Statesboro, pick your Effingham, pick your Savannah school, what have you. If your team in non-region has the same number on both sides of the dash, or if the number on the right side of the dash is a little higher than the number on the left side of the dash, don't worry about it. That's what season 1 is for. Non-region schedule is to set yourself up. So if your team is 1-3, 2-2, 0-2, 0-3, 1-2, what have you, if you're 500 or below, don't sweat it. It sets you up to make sure that you're challenged for the idea of traveling on the road when it comes to the playoffs. If you want to, like what Tony did last year in setting himself up to go to Carrollton, you might have that kind of a road trip in the playoffs. The non-region schedule with these wild games and matchups that we never would have figured except for coaches picking up the phone and maybe texting each other or doing whatever. Season 1, long road trips, long games, opponents that you wouldn't have necessarily figured, set you up for region play and get you prepped for the playoffs. So don't sweat your non-region record. When the rubber meets the road in region play, season 2, that's when you start paying attention to things. Look at the growth, look at your progressions, but then you get into region play, and that's when things get busy.
And talk about a team that always makes their season 1 tough, Benedictine Military School. So you got Danny Britt. He's coming back with Luke Kromenhawk, who is, I think, rated one of the top best quarterbacks in the country. Yeah. So Benedictine in that Region 4. I mean, it's going to be tough to beat that team. And Danny Britt's got that program rolling. I mean, so what do you say about the Cadets?
Yeah, they're okay. I mean, you look at what you're seeing from Luke, and it's always tough. It is always tough to repeat. Right now, he's a verbal to Florida State, and there are some of us here in this household that are ACC folks that are quite pleased with that so far. He verbaled to Florida State last March. So what do you do when you're chasing after a title? Everybody, once again, knows that you are the top dog in Quad A. It's going to be a little tighter this year. Benedictine finished at 13-2. North Oconee, Troop, Spalding, Stockbridge, Cedartown, Holy Innocents. Perry with what Kevin Smith is doing down there. Bainbridge always wants to do the same thing that Danny Britt does, and they challenged themselves with their non-region title. They went 8-5. Cairo went 8-4 last year. Pace, Wayne County with what Jabo Shaw has done in short order. They finished up at 10-3. LaGrange is always going to be a part of the discussion. So it's going to be interesting. And I'll give you another one. Burke County, Eric Parker, legend in the state, retires. Franklin Stevens went home to Burke County. And Waynesboro, the bird dog capital of the world. Burke County, keep an eye on them too. But, everybody's going to be chasing Benedictine and Quad A. And when you're the top dog, you know that you've got to keep your head on a swivel. And what Danny does, what Danny Britt will do, is he will set himself up with these schedules to where you sit there and it's like, all right, what am I going to do here? And how do you sit there and go on the road and figure stuff out? And I mean, Danny will sit there and go, I think I'll go play Christopher Columbus, out of Miami. And everybody's like, okay, you go ahead, dog. You schedule Christopher Columbus. And that's just what we talk about with season 1, coach, is you sit there and you line it all up and you figure out, all right, here's the deal. I know what I want to do, and I'm going to schedule this stuff. Gadsden County High School out of Florida. All right, so here's the layout this year. At Jenkins, Gadsden County High of Florida, at Westminster. We talk about road trips. We talk about how important road trips are non-region to get you ready for playoffs. You're traveling from Savannah to Atlanta Labor Day weekend. Pack a lunch, pack a dinner, maybe a midnight snack by the time you're done. Ware County is on the schedule as a home game. Hebron Christian, Jonathan Guess, in his second year in that program. We know what Jonathan Guess did at Eagles Landing Christian. And then you get into New Hampstead, at Burke, at Southeast Bullock, at Wayne and Islands. So, once again, non-region schedule. Gadsden County High of Florida, at Westminster to get you that road trip. Ware County Hebron Christian. That's a little on the crazy side, but that doesn't surprise me at all.
Nope. I mean, to be the best, you got to beat the best, and that's what Danny Britt does. All right, quickly, we're running out of time here. Black and blue region. I think you got a three-headed dragon here, even though the third team doesn't get much credit. But you got Calvary Christian, Country Day, and then the Chatham County Public Schools. Country Day is always that little team or that little engine that nobody gives credit to, and they play those two teams tough. But you're looking at Calvary and Savannah Christian. I mean, you're talking about two loaded, talented teams with a lot of Division I offers. So what do you see in the good old Region 3, Class 3A league right there?
So Mark Stroud, and you've got a QB like Jake Merklinger, and I know that everybody gravitates toward that as well. Starting off with your Island Sharks, starting off with IHS. Then at Eagles Landing Christian, we mentioned road trips once again. At Eagles Landing Christian, coming from the coast to just south of Atlanta, and you make sure that you get off the freeway just in time, because that is where the Eagles Landing exit, where everything just absolutely stops. Smart planning by Mark Stroud to get off the freeway right as traffic starts. Then it's Charlotte Christian, which is interesting. Then it's Liberty County at Pooler to take on Savannah Christian on 9/22. So September 22nd, get your tickets now. Then it's at Johnson Groves, at SCD on the 20th of October, at Long County, the Blue Tide of Ludowici. You cannot mess with the Blue Tide of Ludowici in Long County. Great things that Coach Feaster and what they're doing down there too. It's going to be a tough one, but once again, road trip to Charlotte, road trip to just south of Atlanta to get you prepped. Mark Stroud knows what he's doing.
Savannah Christian, Baker Woodward. You got Elijah Griffin. You got David Boosie, who just committed to South Carolina. You got Zoe Smalls is probably going to be one of the best running backs in the state. So Savannah Christian's not going to be easy either.
No, at Hilton Head Christian to start things off. Your Sharks get them in Pooler on the 24th, and then we talk about road trips. Savannah Christian to Marist, Labor Day weekend. Once again, traveling from the coast into Atlanta to get that travel game in to get you kind of gassed up for the playoffs. At SCD, Calvary Day, we talk about that when they go to Ludowici to take on Long County. Johnson at Beach Groves and at Liberty County. So Savannah Christian should be a fun one too. Looking forward to seeing how Savannah Country Day continues to grow. They've got the game against Aquinas, but it's a home game Labor Day weekend. They're at Pinewood Christian, starting off with Windsor Forest. So SCD, I'm looking forward to seeing how their progression continues as well.
It's unbelievable. And, like I gave a shout out before, Bryan County, Coach Freeman down there doing a little work with, and I can say it, it's still politically correct. Those Redskins, they're doing a great job down there in Pembroke.
Yep, and what you got to see, and once again, you talk about, okay, you might have surprised some folks last year. You're not going to be surprising folks anymore. So now, how does Bryan County respond to everyone sitting there and knowing, oh, okay, we saw what Bryan County did last year. You're not going to be able to sneak up on folks anymore. And so that's going to be interesting as well to see what Bryan County does.
All right, quickly, 2-minute rule here, 2-minute drill, okay? This is the most interesting rule, which I think the National Federation of High School finally got right, is that if you hold somebody 10 yards behind the line, it's not going to go another 10 yards from the spot. Just like pass interference, it comes back, it's a 10-yard penalty. So they're evening out the balancing here. So if you're holding behind the line, instead of being 1st and 30, it's only going to be 1st and 20. So how do you like that rule?
Spot foul, that's fine. We've seen spot fouls in college and pro, so it makes sense to do something like that. And so since we're here in rapid fire, I'll just say, makes sense. Let's see how it happens and how many officiating crews remember that that's the rule, at least early in the year, and they get confused themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. And now we got instant replay in the playoffs, which is great.
The championships, and I think the Corky Kell is going to be the petri dish for it. But yeah, with the championships moving to Mercedes-Benz, we'll have the technology, and it's going to be really interesting to see how instant replay is laid into the foundation of things in the state of Georgia.
All right, we're down to a minute to go. I don't know what's going on in the water here. Luke Cromenhawk, Florida State, little near and dear to your heart. Jake Merklinger, Tennessee. Michael Smith, South Carolina. David Boosie, South Carolina. Kobe Ward, Alabama. He's only a junior. Elijah Griffin has over 20-something D1 schools. And Zoe Smalls is getting looks from Kentucky, South Carolina, North Carolina. I'm telling you right now, under the radar, you're going to hear this name, Nate Hayes out of Effingham County High School. He's getting a lot of looks too, a quarterback. Plus, he's only valedictorian of his class right now. So, but what's going on in the water down here? All these big-time offers from these big-time schools.
The thing is, Coach, and you know this, the world is a lot smaller than it was when we first started in our involvement in high school football. If you are talented, you will be found. And in addition to that, we got Make That Kid an Offer at GPB, and so that's where we can focus on folks too. But these days, most of the time, you'll get the big schools going to the big markets, and that's why we like to do Make That Kid an Offer, because a lot of schools and a lot of kids fall between the geographic cracks, and we like to focus on those kids as well because of the landscape being what it is. D1, FBS, FCS, whatever the alphabet soup is, D2, D3, NAIA, whatever. There's a lot of opportunities for kids to play football, and just because the big schools go to the places to find those athletes because they can virtually doesn't mean that there isn't a lot of quality football players out there that can play in FCS and D2, D3, and NAIA. So that's why we like to do that stuff.
And I know I'm going off the tangent here. Timeout for my next guest. He's waiting in the back room. How about the I don't know if it was a reporter, somebody on social media made up a kid, 6'8", 300 pounds. The kid's not real, and everybody's offering the kid, and they haven't even seen the kid.
Yeah, I mean, that's you try to do that to sit there, and I don't know if you're trying to prove a point or if you're trying to sit there and say that this is where recruiting is these days. But, you know, if that was something that you felt like you needed to do to get a story out there, more power to you. I didn't read it, and it's just like, okay, great, fine. You accomplished what you were setting out for about the recruiting industry, so, yeah, more power to you.
All right, quickly, give us the rundown on the shows that you're doing this year for football.
Well, it is right now we've got all of our content, the Football Fridays in Georgia podcast. You can get that on your favorite podcatcher. Game of the Week starts on September 1st, and we'll keep you posted on all the other plans with all the other stuff. But those are the big two. Football Fridays in Georgia, that starts up in short order in about 5 weeks. Game of the Week starts on Labor Day weekend, September 1st. And
don't leave out that recruiting show there, buddy.
Recruiting show is going to be done a couple of different ways this year. We're going to be doing it through social media and virtual. It's not going to be a lead-in this year, but we're going to be doing it a bunch of different ways. So we're not leaving recruiting behind, but we will be doing recruiting a couple of different ways.
All right. I know in that household it's Go War Eagles, even though we know Go Seminoles comes in there and plays sometimes. But once again, John, thank you. Love you, brother. I mean, it's been a great run, and we're still doing it strong. And I'm at 37 years teaching, 42 years coaching. So, you know, I'm the old guy here, but you do a great job. Love it, and keep it going on. And once again, as I always love to say, the voice of Georgia high school football, John Nelson, on Georgia Public Broadcasting Sports, Friday Night Lights, you name it. The man's all over there. Hold it. Don't go anywhere, John. Kyle, I hope you're ready. Here you go, John. There's Kyle Lawson, the voice of the Savannah Clovers. Meet John Nelson there, Mr. Lawson.
Hey, John, how you doing?
Doing all right, Kyle. How's life in NISA?
It's going really well. I really enjoy being able to do the games. It's been a lot of fun. I mean, first expansion year, one of the youngest sides in NISA. Really proud of the guys. A lot of moving parts right now. Lost a tough one on the 5th earlier this week, but they fought really hard in the second half. Came up a little bit short, 1-0. Got another one coming back to Memorial Stadium. We take on Flowers City Union out of Rochester, New York. They'll be coming in for next Saturday, so you can come on out to Memorial Stadium. Should be a good one. Hopefully the weather holds off. We have a pretty good record of of getting a lot of rain during our matches, so hopefully it holds off.
Yeah, the team in Rochester, New York that actually functioned. That was a dig at Jamie Vardy, by the way.
There you go.
That gets me when you do something like that. But no, great to see the Clovers doing so well in NISA. Great to see them having attached to a league with everything that's been evolved and growing there with the franchise. And great to see you guys having a home there in NISA. It's fantastic to see how the sport, in as much as we sit here and say, oh, it's so widespread, it really isn't. And the fact that you're getting markets like Savannah there with what we're seeing with South Georgia Tormenta and Statesboro, with what you guys are doing, with what you guys are doing there in Savannah, and how it goes right up the coastline with the Battery there now at Patriots Point and USL Championship. I mean, you're talking 3 different leagues, 3 different approaches in a short amount of space. So it's very, very cool to see what you guys are doing to add to the framework there when it comes to soccer below the net line.
Well, we love it. And the fact of the matter is that, I mean, it's just a testament to, Brian Sykes and, everybody, Jeff Tifo, everybody involved with the Clovers. This was a grassroots operation. I got involved with the Clovers in 2017 when we were an amateur Parkside team, even before we made the jump to fifth tier with UPSL. How it's grown into, you're playing 2 levels below the highest level you could possibly play in this country. And we're getting some great crowds out at Memorial. First City supporters are out there banging the drum. And the whole community's involved. I know we've got a connection with Savannah United. Savannah United's effectively become our youth academy, and that makes me really proud.
Very, very cool stuff that you guys are doing there in Nisa. Coach, you want to take it over and actually go one-on-one? I'm going to monopolize this conversation. We're going to talk Nisa for the remainder of the show, brother.
Oh, we'll do it. Wow.
Hey, Kyle, go get your baseball kit ready. Like that soccer pun there with your baseball kit. Go get it ready. I'll bring you back in 3 minutes.
Yeah. I got a scarf right over here. It won't take long.
You got it. I'll be right back with you, Kyle. I mean, you guys. I know you're football, soccer. He's baseball, soccer. Yep. Me, I'm just hanging out, having a good time with you two guys. But once again, appreciate it. Have a good summer. Hey, when you make the Southeast Coast swing, right, give me a call, and I'll take you to Coach's Corner. Now, you said Italian food. It's not Italian food. It's the best wings in Savannah. You want wings, and you're a soccer guy. I mean, they love their wings. Even in football, we love our wings. Tailgate party, I'll take you here for lunch.
Well, but I also see the commercial breaks, and I sit there and see, bada bing, bada boom.
That's Rocky's New York Italian Deli.
I know. It's Rocky's, but you sit there and you taunt me with all this food at this point in the morning. Go to commercial so that way you can talk to Kyle. Be good.
Well, if you're here for 2 days, I'll take you to Rockies. I'll take you to Coaches.
It'll be a suicide mission, but I'll keep you posted if we're heading that way.
John, always appreciate it. Thank you for what you do for these kids in the Georgia.
Be safe, my friend.
You got it. Bye. Just a great guy. Loves his sports. I mean, he's big time high school football, but he's also big time soccer. I mean, go check it out. The OCG Sports Network with him. You'll love it. All right. So that's it. That's high school football right now. We can talk for hours with John Nelson, but we got to go to baseball, okay? Like I said, it's been a big week for the coach. I'm going to be a grandpa. I got 2 twin girls coming at the end of football season, but every Wednesday night, right here on the Coach's Corner Sports Network, you can hear the Who's on First Base baseball podcast with the coach, and, of course, Kyle Lawson, who's my next guest. But I got to thank the sponsors here. So, once again, you're listening to Karl DeMasi Sports Report, presented by Coach's Corner, because it's all part of Coach's Corner Sports Network. 3 minutes, coming back, talking some baseball. Hopefully the soccer guy's got his baseball kit ready. He's already got his baseball uniform on. Be back in 3 minutes. All the time. That's Coach's Corner in Thunderbolt, Georgia, because Coach's Corner has been voted the best in Savannah for over 20 years running. It's no wonder why. There's always sports, live music in the sound garden, and delicious and abundance of pub food. No matter what the season, there's always a reason to check out Coach's Corner. Pick your favorite sport, pick your favorite team, and pick your favorite TV, because Coach's is your place to be. Coach's Corner has been Savannah strong since 1991, is always open for dine-in service for lunch and dinner. Remember, Coach's Corner still has takeout service. Join John Henderson and the crew for the best burgers, wings, and now pizza too. You can place your order by calling Coach's Corner at 912-352-2933. That's right, remember that number, 912-352-2933. So make your next pit stop at Coach's Corner. And as always, make it a night to remember at Coach's. At Calvary Day School, we want our students to be fully equipped and on the cutting edge of academics, making a difference in our world. Your child will grow academically, physically, socially, and spiritually. At Calvary, it is so good to say we are one school with one mission and one vision: faith, academics, excellence, and building champions through Christ. Calvary Day School, we consider it a privilege to meet with your family personally. Call Philip Lee, Director of Admissions, at 351-2299. That's 351-2299.
For over half a century, when it comes to uniforms, sporting goods, or trophies, Thompson's got you covered. From cleats to caps and the best prices on the biggest brands: Under Armour, Adidas, and more. From baseball to soccer, volleyball to softball, and yes, football too. Every season starts at Thompson Sports Shop. From cutting and equipped at Thompson Sports Shop's new location, 6606 Abercorn Street, Suite 102 in Savannah. Open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and seasonal on Saturdays. At locally owned Thompson Sporting Goods and Trophies, Come see where everyone is a
Yo,
winner.
you still want some real New York Italian food? Bada bing, bada boom. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering is open at 7630 Skidaway Road, Tuesday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., serving breakfast and lunch right here in Savannah, Georgia. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering has been serving the public for over 3 years. Now, if you want Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering goods delivered to your door, go online to SavannahTakeout.com or DoorDash.com, or just pick up the phone and call 912-354-2914. That's right, 912-354-2914. Kabish, and remember, we ain't New York style. We are New York at Rocky's New York Deli and Italian.
Weatherington Chiropractic Clinic. Your back hurts, another body part hurts all the time. It makes you mad. The pain drives you crazy. You just want to pick something up and throw it across the room. If you can, at the Weatherton Chiropractic Clinic, you get complete chiropractic care and pain relief to help you move better, have a less painful life, and of course, achieve a healthier lifestyle. The Weatherton Chiropractic Clinic is now located at 2 locations in Savannah, Georgia, at 329 Eisenhower Drive and in Pooler at 114 Canal Street, Suite 603. So visit Dr. Bart Weatherington at the Weatherington Chiropractic Clinic for all your chiropractic needs.
And welcome back to the Karl DeMasi Sports Report right here on the Coach's Corner Sports Network, brought to you by Coach's Corner. I'm on the Soundgarden stage having a lot of fun. It's Saturday morning, and I had to do the last segment, and get the other guy to meet the other guy because they're both soccer buffs also. So once again, John Nelson, Georgia Public Broadcasting Sports Department, Atlanta United. You know it. This guy does all the soccer stuff too. Soccer down here. So I had to get these two guys to meet. But, he's my sidekick on the other Coach's Corner Sports Network show. It's the only podcast, okay, the Who's on First Baseball podcast. We couldn't do it this Wednesday because I was celebrating a little, grandpa mode there, okay? So we're going to pick it up Saturday morning. We'll be back Wednesday. But he knows his stuff. He's also the voice of the Savannah Clovers at their home games on the internets. He'll give us a lowdown on that. Joining me now on the Coach's Corner hot seat. He's always on a hot seat with Angela, and that's, of course, my man, Kyle Lawson. I love Angela. She's a good woman. She puts up with you. That's all I got to say there, buddy.
She certainly does, buddy. Yeah, she said, all right, I'm going upstairs with Penny. I'll let you guys do your thing, and then we'll get on with the day. But congratulations, Grandpa. Not 1, but 2.
2 young ladies will be in my life, hopefully in December and January. I can't wait. I'll get a little chance before I get really old to play some games with them. Maybe teach her how to play a little, little golf, a little soccer. The old coach can do something right, I hope.
Oh, you certainly can. Yeah, you're the jack of all trades. But hey, congrats to you and Dee and Russ and everybody. I mean, that's just amazing. Yeah,
it's gonna be a lot of fun. And I got home late Wednesday. I told you we're gonna put it off to next week, but I got to brainstorm. Hey, let's do this Saturday morning live. I know it's tough for you to get down here on a Wednesday night, but let's do it, okay? And first of all, how do you like John Nelson there, buddy?
Oh, great guy. Glad we got to chat a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I'll always talk shop when it comes to soccer. I mean, I obviously, love doing the games for the Clovers, but yeah, I'd love to sit down and, I could probably do a whole segment with him.
Yeah. Oh, you two guys can probably go for another 2-3 hours like I could too. So,
yeah,
but I mean,
no doubt.
He's just into the soccer, the high school football. He does a great job. I think they do Soccer Down Under, a Soccer Down Here podcast with his buddies.
Yep.
It's really good show. So I had to let you meet him.
Oh, sure. Glad you did. Yeah.
All right. So you got your baseball kit on. You got your Cubs hat. You got your green Cubs shirt on. Don't rub it in. The Yankees stink. I know. Cubs got a big win last night. Who was the starting pitcher last night for the Cubs?
Jameson Taillon, who has been not good at all. We've only won 2 of his starts. He goes out there, twirls a gem, 8 innings, shuts him out. Adbert Alzolay comes in, gets the save. A couple of key hits, including a huge Cody Bellinger homer into the second deck on that short porch. That was the only stadium that the Cubs have never won a game in. And I mean, you look at the record against the Yankees, we're 5-24, going back to 1932 when we faced off in the World Series. So that's saying something.
But, this kid is only the 3rd pitcher to shut out the Yankees in Yankee Stadium. Not too bad company. Bartolo Colon and Pedro Martinez. Not bad company.
Yeah, not bad company at all. Yeah. You got a Hall of Very Good and one of the best to ever do it.
So, all right. So we got about 15 minutes to do this little stick, not the 40, 50, 60 minutes we always do. We want to keep it. We want to keep the 40, but it always goes 60. Okay. First question at you. Okay. We're talking about Major League Baseball. We're at the halfway point after Sunday. So let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. So far in the year 2023, who is the good in Major League Baseball?
Well, obviously, let's point out the biggest thing. I mean, we knew the Atlanta Braves were going to be good. They have the best record in baseball. The Tampa Bay Rays have the second best record in baseball. They have the best record in the AL right now, and they're facing off this weekend. It was a really good pitching duel last night. Of course, the ageless Charlie Morton goes out and does the job. 6 big strikeouts. The Braves win it 2-1. Big Sean Murphy home run. He's going to the All-Star game. He's got 26 bombs. I wouldn't really say, I mean, that's the good. That's the top of the heap right there. You know, just an abundance of talent on both sides of town. For me, that's the most obvious good.
And how about the bad? Not the ugly yet.
Ooh.
So don't jump on the New York Mets. Let's go bad.
It's so easy. Okay, I'll bad, and, you know, schadenfreude for me. Whenever the Cardinals are not doing well, guess what? I love it. They are 36-52, 12 games back of the Cincinnati Reds in arguably the second worst division in baseball. Wow. I don't know what's going on there, but it ain't good, and I'm here for it. Now, I will also – Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No. I mean, that's my bad. I guess as a whole, collectively in the American League, how bad the AL Central is. It's historically bad that you have – I mean, the Minnesota Twins are just kind of hanging on there by a thread by virtue of just being very mediocre. Every other team in that division is terrible. The White Sox, that whole experiment, that's done. That's it. They're selling off. Kansas City, you knew was going to be bad. The Tigers, not a good ball club, but really weren't putting themselves in a position to compete. It's going to come down. I mean, you're going to have a team probably winning 83, 84 games between the Guardians and the Twins that are probably going to take the division. That's just bad. It's unreal.
Yeah, I wanted to go back to my good, which I agree with you, Tampa Bay and the Braves. But I got to go with Cincinnati in the NL, and I got to go with Baltimore in the AL. Those are my two good teams that could fall right under Tampa Bay and the Braves. Even though Tampa Bay, you hold the Braves to 2 hits and you still lose. But they're on a snide. They're on a little 6-game losing streak. But I got to go with the Cincinnati Reds and De La Cruz. Everybody's drooling over that kid, and of course Baltimore.
He's special.
I mean, it's special. So bad, I agree with you 100%. The AL Central and the NL Central are bad, and they're going to make the playoffs. That's what gets me.
Yeah, that's just it. I mean, hey, unless you go to the best 8 teams in each league, which I don't think they will ever do, and I would hate it if they did that. But at the same, it's shocking how bad 2 divisions can be. But the Centrals, by virtue of the Reds just being on a heater right now, they're 9 games over 500, have a 1-game lead over the Brewers right now. Me as a Cubs fan, I just kind of want the Brewers and the Reds to kind of beat up on each other a little bit this weekend. So maybe we get close to like 5 games out by the break when everybody gets to rest. But, it comes back to, we talked about it so many times, with the unbalanced schedules right now, how you're finding out who these teams really are.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's it. Go ahead.
I'll let you go first with the ugly.
Whoa.
There's one in the National and one in the American. You go first. I'll let you know who my 2 after you go first.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go ahead. I mean, I may be stealing your thunder, but man alive, the New York Mets, 17 and a half games out. I mean, yeah, they're playing in a really tough division, but Steve Cohen, all that money, you go out there, you add all these pieces, and I mean, it's been a nightmare in Queens. They can't get out of their own way. It's been an absolute shambles.
I agree with you 100%, but you know what? They're on a winning streak. The Mets fans are getting hot. They're getting happy in Philadelphia. I mean, he's also on a winning streak, but I'm telling you right now, it's going to be very tough to catch the Atlanta Braves. Okay?
Yeah, it's wild card or bust for the rest of that division.
I agree. Who's your ugly in the American League?
Oh, the ugly? Well, I mean, it's not fair because they really aren't even a major league team at this point, but Oakland. It's a pretty sad way for them to go out before, moving to Las Vegas, when and if that does happen. That team was put together to fail, and it's unfortunate for the Oakland fans to still go out to that old stadium and watch them play. It's brutal.
I mean, that's definitely, I agree. Charlie Finley, way back when he had the A's, I mean, just selling and trading and doing whatever he can. I did like they went back to their Kelly Green shirts the other day, which I love.
Oh, I love those.
But I mean, it's just sad. But I got to go with the team that's one above them with all the talent they got. But then again, you're going to come back with me that they got injuries, is the LA Angels. I mean, Trout, Ohtani. I mean, it's just been ugly watching them all year long. I figured they would give the Houston Astros a run for their money, even though they didn't have to cheat to do it. But, and look who's in number one in the division, the Texas Rangers. So
that's a talented ball club.
The LA Angels, or the California Angels, or the Los Angeles Angels, whatever you want to call them, okay, I got to go. That's been ugly for me all year watching them. Even though they're a 500 team, it's been ugly.
Yeah, it really has. Well, it's frustrating because you see two of the generational talents in Mike Trout, who's only made the playoffs one time, and Shohei Ohtani, the best player on the planet right now. He's going to probably end up leaving the Angels, never making it to the playoffs. And it's inconceivable that he's stuck and, mired, in that situation. He won't be there much longer.
No, he won't. So there you go. The good, the bad, and the ugly in Major League Baseball in our first segment. Second segment, okay, well, if you're just tuning in, you're listening to the Karl DeMasi Sports Report or watching the Karl DeMasi Sports Report. It's not the Who's on First Base Baseball podcast. We're just picking up where we should have went on Wednesday night. That's, of course, Kyle Lawson, the baseball fanatic. We're all part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network. All right, so we go to the second point I wanted to talk about, the Braves. I mean, what do you say? 24 or 25 straight games with a home run. I mean, they've won 19 out of the last 21. I mean, what more can you say? The offense is what's carrying this team, even though the pitching is not that bad.
Yeah, that's the case. You have power up and down the lineup. Sean Murphy, in his interview last night after hitting his 26, Matt Olson has the team lead with 29. There's power up and down the lineup, and he said there's another guy hitting it deep every night, and he loves that it's spread 1 through 9 in that lineup. And you're right. The offense is carrying it, but the pitching has been fantastic. Spencer Strider, he's become the de facto ace of the staff. The ageless Charlie Morton, as I mentioned again, still doing it at 39. And first-time All-Star Bryce Elder. And they're doing this without two guys that were so key in their rotation in Max Fried and Kyle Wright. They're still finding ways to get it done. Smith Schaubers come up, AJ Schuster. You've been able to get some help, and the bullpen's been good. It's been decent. You've been able to kind of steady the ship right now. AJ Minter coming in, Raisel Iglesias really kind of become the de facto closer. But I mean, you got to look at that offense. That team is so talented, and they've set the home run record in the modern era for the first half. I mean, it was set, and the fact they've set another team record in sending 8 players to the All-Star game coming up in Seattle. I mean, look at this. You basically have the entire infield. You got Matt Olson, Ozzie Albies, Austin Riley, Ronald Acuna Jr., catcher Sean Murphy, of course, Orlando Arcia, just so underrated. He can play all over the field. He's been fantastic. And then, of course, the aforementioned Spencer Strider and Bryce Elder. It's crazy. You're gonna see a lot of. I cannot believe how many Braves are going to be at the All-Star game.
And what gets me, I feel bad for, Strider and Elder. Strider's starting today. Elder's starting tomorrow. They won't be able to play in the All-Star game. They're going to go out there and enjoy it in the festivities. But you make your first All-Star game and you're not going to be able to play in it. I mean, that's tough for me.
Well, it is tough for a lot of players, but I mean, this is just it. The Major League Baseball season is a slog. It's so important to be there and have that experience. And yeah, if you get a chance to play, great. But these young guys are going to go out there to Seattle. It's a great stadium, by the way. Get out to Safeco to really enjoy this. This is special. You don't get to go to this every year. And I mean, guys, and we're talking about getting a lot of rest. Well, they'll be able to get their rest. But I mean, this is something, as a major leaguer, there's so many players that play this great game that will never get to an All-Star game. They'll be out there and they'll savor it. Yeah, okay, maybe they'll be a little bummed out they can't go out and give them an inning, but they're there. That's special.
I agree 100%. And this is a perfect segue. All right, we talked about the Oakland A's being ugly. Olsen and Murphy, Oakland A's, okay?
Oh, yeah.
And then we talk about the All-Star game, Strider and Elder, who aren't going to be able to play. So perfect segues right there, buddy. And I know you're the DJ, the disc jockey, too. So you have a little understanding of how you get your music tied together. That worked out pretty well. All right, last one. We're going to have a little fun. We're not doing baseball trivia. What we do usually on Wednesday nights when we do our podcast, we do baseball trivia at the end of the show. But I want to have a little fun with this because I know this man's got a plethora of knowledge about baseball. I want you to make your All-Star game home run derby prediction right here. So if you go in the order of home runs, okay, Luis Robert Jr. has 25, right? 25 home runs. Pete Alonso, 25 home runs. Mookie Betts, 23. Garcia, 21. I know I'm going to mess his name. Randy who?
Randy
Arizona?
Arozarena.
There we go. 16 home
This
runs.
is why I'm here.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr., I got that right. 13. Julio Rodriguez, 13. And Adley Rutschman, right?
Yep. Baltimore.
11 home runs. So, we got De La Cruz with Cincinnati. You got Rutschman with the Orioles. So there's your home run derby hitters, buddy. Let me see if I can find this. I'm going to make this a little easier for you because I want to go with the matchups. I looked it up this morning. Let me see if I can find it. Matchups, home run matchups. Okay, of course I'm not.
I wrote them
find
down.
it now. Oh, you're right. Okay, good.
I wrote them down.
If you ever watch the 19th hole here on the Coach's Corner Sports Network on YouTube channel, Brent Herb comes in with a spiral notebook this thick, just like this man does with his baseball notes. Okay, so let's break it down. Go right ahead. There it is.
Okay, so I'll start. So go ahead.
No, you got the breakdowns. Let's go.
Okay. All right. So here's the breakdown. Let's start in the National League, or not really National League, because it's not just American League versus National League. You got a lot more American leaguers here. So I'll start off. Pete Alonso, two-time champ, is going to be taking on J-Rod. Julio Rodriguez, home park. That to me is going to be an unbelievable first round. Then in your second bracket, you got Mookie Betts, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and then you go over to you got a couple of young guns here. Luis Robert Jr. from the White Sox, Adley Rutschman from the Baltimore Orioles. Final bracket, Adolis Garcia from the surging Rangers, and from the Tampa Bay Rays, Randy Arozarena. Those are your big 8 starting in the home run derby. That's a lot of power.
All right, so who wins the first round?
Okay, go over and starting with that first bracket. One that I think could probably be the tightest of all in J-Rod and Pete Alonso. And I know the rules change a little bit, so it's and I'm going to have to double check on that, but I think J-Rod actually gives Pete Alonso a run for his money in that bracket. I'm going J-Rod over Pete Alonso.
Wow, you're going J-Rod over the polar bear. Wow.
I know that's a lot to say, but home ballpark, the juices will be flowing. He knows how to hit in that ballpark. I think he's the guy to unseat the polar bear.
All right, next one up.
All right, Mookie Betts, Vlad Jr. I love Mookie. You know he's got the power. Vladdy is built for this competition. I think Vladdy takes it easily. Okay,
so we got. Give me a pen here. All right, so we got J-Rod, we got Vladdy. Okay, next matchup.
Okay, so we'll go over to Luis Robert Jr. and Adley Rutschman. This one I think is going to be pretty close. You got two guys with a lot of power. I think it's going to come down to endurance on this one. If I were to take a flyer on this, Rutschman's been hot. And, I got to go Adley on this one. It's a hunch, and I know it's such a crapshoot in the home run derby here. I think Rutschman can do it.
All right, and the last grouping.
Ooh, Adolis Garcia and the powerful Randy Arozarena. Had a chance to watch these guys play quite a bit. I still see, just as far as endurance on this one, I got to go Randy. I got to go Randy Arozarena from the Tampa Bay Rays. That's my first round matchup.
Okay, let's get to the second round. What do you got?
All right. Second round. Okay, so that means Adley Rutschman is going to face off against Julio Rodriguez. I got to go Julio on this one.
He's going with
he's
the
going to
home
make it to
field.
the finals. I am.
Home
I
field.
am. I see him putting on a show. All right.
Okay.
So then you have Randy Arozarena going up against Vladdy Jr. Okay, two big, strong guys. I'm still going Vladdy. I want to. Yeah, That's a tough one. Yeah, I say I gotta go. Yeah, I gotta go J-Rod. I think he's gonna win the whole thing.
All right, so we got J-Rod, Vladdy in the finals, and you're going with J-Rod. So I wrote this down so we could pick this up on Wednesday night when we do the podcast.
Actually, I think I screwed up the brackets. That one's on me. I think Arozarena would face off against Adley Rutschman. J-Rod would face off against Vladdy. So
wow.
Yeah. So Arozarena, I'm going to say Randy is going to come into the finals. He's going to face J-Rod. So these are my two picks. Randy Arozarena going up against Julio Rodriguez. Julio wins it in front of the home fans.
Well, that's why you're called the baseball fanatic, because you know what you're doing. So
even when I'm not reading my notes right. Jeez. I get 1 error per game here.
Yeah, I usually do about 5, but I only did 2 today.
You
so
did good.
I'm pretty proud of you. So once again, I appreciate you coming on, and the Braves are hot, the hottest team in baseball. And I know I'm a big Yankee follower also, as you follow the Cubs too, but we all gravitate on the Braves because we live here in Georgia. But it's been a lot of fun watching this team in the first half, and hopefully they can carry it on.
Get some rest, keep it going. Guys heading to Seattle, enjoy it. Doesn't happen every year. It's special.
And just so you know, the Bananas next week are going to Kannapolis on Tuesday and Wednesday. Friday they get a break, and then they go to Bull Durham land. They go to Durham Athletics Park in North Carolina. Yeah, I mean, you had Akron, Ohio last at the Canal. Now you're going to the I mean, it's got to be a great tour for these Savannah Banana players.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun following them. They were in Indy. They were in Akron. I read some local reports from the Akron paper and, of course, from the Indy Star. Just the places were just jumping. Kannapolis is going to be a lot of fun, but man, going to the DAP, going to the where it all started with the Durham Bulls. Bull Durham, one of my favorite movies of all time. They're going to be putting on a show. It should be a lot of fun. And yeah, this tour looks to be going. I mean, they seem to outdo themselves every year, and they always continue to surprise me.
All right, last thing. I just threw myself off. Oh, Akron Canal Park. Do you believe the Savannah Bananas had the highest attendance ever in that ballpark? Not even the Rubber Ducks can beat the Savannah Bananas in the Canal.
Wow, that's impressive. That's really cool. Yeah, they were getting 15,000 in Indy as well. Yeah.
So it's just crazy. And I've been to Canal Park a number of times.
I know you have.
Dom did play for the Akron Rubber Ducks, so it's a pretty special place, and it's just crazy that the Bananas can outsell the minor league team that plays in that ballpark.
It's a phenomenon. It's just a phenomenon, Coach.
All right, so next Wednesday night, Memorial Stadium, what time?
Next Wednesday, we're actually playing next Saturday. So
next Saturday.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, we play the
No, you're
15th.
right. The 15th next Saturday.
15th. I was about to say, please tell me it's not a Wednesday game. That'd be a tough one.
7 o'clock.
Yeah, we play 7 o'clock Memorial Stadium, Flower City Union at Rochester, New York. It'll be a rematch. Flower City took the first match. Clovers will be looking for a little bit of revenge. Should be a good one. We can't wait to see everybody out. We can get some really good crowds in Memorial Stadium. I'll be behind the mic with my good buddy Mike Blankenship filling in, doing the cover. And yeah, you can stream all of our games on 11sports.com. All the games are free. You can watch the highlights. And if you want, you can actually listen to my voice.
You can listen to the voice of Kyle Lawson, the baseball fanatic doing soccer. He's a soccer fanatic too. Hey, we got to check in. Chad Griffin, the old coach and AD, checking in. Great to see you guys this morning. Chad, love to see you here, checking in and seeing what you're doing.
How about it?
All right, baseball fanatic, let's get out of here. So remember, whatever you're doing today, what are you going to do?
Always hit it out of the park.
And what's the 2 best words in baseball?
Play ball.
There we go. Tell Angela, go Dodgers.
Yeah, I think we're going to go buy some breakfast here. So, all right, you have a great morning. I'll talk to you Wednesday.
Appreciate for doing it, so we'll talk to you on Wednesday.
Anytime, Coach. See ya.
Go Cubbies.
Go Cubs.
I mean, Kyle Lawson, I mean, he does a great job with the show. He's got a plethora of knowledge. I mean, comes in with a book this thick, but take him over to the soccer side for Savannah Clovers. They got himself a good one, a guy that really knows his soccer stuff, and he runs around with that soccer scarf a lot too. I don't know why. It's 90 degrees here in Savannah. But that's because he's probably from Illinois, so he's got to keep himself warm. So next up, I'm out of here. Last quarter, last inning. Hey, Lawrence, I got to an hour and 21 without a Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic after the week. Pretty impressive. We'll be back to wrap this up. 3 out the door with the coach, because you're listening to the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, presented by Coach's Corner, because it's all part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network. 3 minutes to wrap it up. All the time. That's Coach's Corner in Thunderbolt, Georgia, because Coach's Corner has been voted the best in Savannah for over 20 years running. It's no wonder why. There's always sports, live music in the sound garden, and delicious and abundance of pub food. No matter what the season, there's always a reason to check out Coach's Corner. Pick your favorite sport, pick your favorite team, and pick your favorite TV, because Coach's is your place to be. Coach's Corner has been Savannah strong since 1991, is always open for dine-in service for lunch and dinner. Remember, Coach's Corner still has takeout service. Join John Henderson and the crew for the best burgers, wings, and now pizza too. You can place your order by calling Coach's Corner at 912-352-2933. That's right, remember that number, 912-352-2933. So make your next pit stop at Coach's Corner. And as always, make it a night to remember at Coach's. At Calvary Day School, we want our students to be fully equipped and on the cutting edge of academics, making a difference in our world. Your child will grow academically, physically, socially, and spiritually. At Calvary, it is so good to say we are one school with one mission and one vision: faith, academics, excellence, and building champions through Christ. Calvary Day School, we consider it a privilege to meet with your family personally. Call Philip Lee, Director of Admissions, at 351-2299. That's 351-2299.
For over half a century, it comes in uniform, sporting goods, or trophies, Thompson's got you covered. From cleats to caps and best prices on the biggest brands, Under Armour, Adidas, and more. From baseball to soccer, volleyball to softball, and yes, football too. Every season starts at Thompson Sports Shop. From Cutting It Equipped at Thompson Sports Shop's new location, 6606 Abercorn Street, Suite 102 in Savannah. Open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and seasonal on Saturdays. At locally owned Thompson Sporting Goods and Trophies, come see where everyone is a winner.
You still want some real New York Italian food? Bada bing, bada boom. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering is open at 7630 Skidaway Road, Tuesday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., serving breakfast and lunch right here in Savannah, Georgia. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering has been serving the public for over 3 years. Now, if you want Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering goods delivered to your door, go online to SavannahTakeout.com or DoorDash.com, or just pick up the phone and call 912-354-2914. That's right, 912-354-2914. Kabish, and remember, we ain't New York style. We are New York at Rocky's New York Deli and Italian.
Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic. Your back hurts, another body part hurts all the time. It makes you mad. The pain drives you crazy. You just want to pick something up and throw across the room? If you can. At the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic, you get complete chiropractic care and pain relief to help you move better, have a less painful life, and of course, achieve a healthier lifestyle. The Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic is now located at 2 locations in Savannah, Georgia, at 329 Eisenhower Drive and in Pooler at 114 Canal Street, Suite 603. So visit Dr. Bart Wetherington at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic for all your chiropractic needs.
And good morning, Savannah and the Coastal Empire. Welcome back to the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, heard every Saturday morning on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. That's right. If you don't know anything about the Coach's Corner Sports Network, we have 3 shows and 3 live shows, 1 podcast, and it's a lot of fun doing this. So check it out. Wednesday nights, the Atlanta man, Brandon Bain, Rubbin' and Grubbin' NASCAR show. He rubs about race karting, but he also grubs food. Then, of course, yours truly, the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, every Saturday morning, 9 till whatever. Then podcast, the other live show is the 19th hole with the Herb brothers, Brent and Sean Herb. They cover 5 straight days of the Masters in April. Check it out on YouTube. And, of course, our podcast, the Who's on First Base Baseball Podcast. You just heard him. You just saw him with the baseball fanatic Kyle Lawson and the coach. All right, 3 steps out the door. This is where I take 3 social media videos, reels, whatever you want to call them, that have stood out to me. And I love doing this because it's a lot of fun because I live on the internet. So my first one is, check this out. One-handed grab. I don't know where it came from. It's got to be a 7-on-7 tournament. But watch this kid go up and catch this ball. We got to replay that one more time. Watch the fans. He goes up. Watch the lady and the guy in the beach chairs. Unbelievable catch right there. So the bro got up. I don't know where it came from, but I got it off of Instagram Reels. Just something special. Now, we talk about the Savannah Bananas every week. I mean, this guy, I don't know how he does this on stilts. All right. The man is unbelievable. I mean, he gets up there, he hits, he pitches. I mean, it's just something special. And, I guess when he came in to try out and he was on the stilts, it's definitely what the Bananas were looking for. Trying to find out his name here. I got it on the tip of my tongue. Let me find it here. The Savannah Banana Man on stilts, the world's tallest player. I got to find it, but he's the world's tallest player. He's on stilts. I mean, it's just unbelievable how he gets on those stilts and he does what he does. I'll find out his name. I do apologize, but it's just something to see. And he gets a base hit through the 6-hole. Watch.
All the pretty girls walk like this. Pretty girls walk like this. All the pretty girls walk like this. All the.
And once again, you got to thank Savannah Bananas for that one. I mean, the man on the stilts is unbelievable. I can't remember his name. The guy on the stilts. Okay, well, I do apologize. He is the world's tallest banana on stilts. Stilts. Dakota Albritton. I mean, this kid is unbelievable playing on stilts. And just because I remember the name, let's watch Dakota Albritton do.
All the pretty girls walk like this. Pretty girls walk like this. All the pretty girls walk like.
Just simply amazing. All right, the last one has to go to the Braves. This kid wasn't supposed to play shortstop for the Braves this year, Orlando Arcia. I mean, just the other night against the Cleveland Indians, Guardians, whatever you want to call them, with a spin move up the middle to throw out the Guardian at first place. Just something special. And, of course, got to thank Bally Sports and MLB Baseball for this.
Ground ball. Arcia's got it. Oh, what a play! That's your all-star shortstop right there, folks.
That's worth another look. Unbelievable.
Arcia's got it. Oh, what a play! That's your all-star shortstop right there, folks.
Simply amazing. And, you're not allowed to have a shift anymore. You're not allowed to be on the outfield grass. And he was playing over towards the third base side. It's not like some of these teams where they're playing right up the middle. So, unbelievable. So, there's my 3 videos out the door. That one-handed grab off of Instagram. Of course, the Savannah Bananas with Dakota Stilts Albritton, and, of course, Orlando Arcia. All right, time for Carl's Corner. All-Star games. Just covered it with Kyle Lawson. He predicts Julio Rodriguez will win the home run derby out there in Seattle. It is his home park. But the question is, are All-Star games outlived? Are they past due? I mean, are they useful? To somebody like me, it's subjective. I mean, I love All-Star games. I don't find the NFL All-Star game exciting as I don't find the NBA All-Star game exciting. I do find the hockey and the baseball games exciting. So, some people are going to argue that the All-Star games are still valuable, enjoyable. Yeah, they're still valuable. They're enjoyable. We remember when the Major League Baseball put a little pressure on the All-Stars game, whichever team won, the National or the American, they would host the World Series. They would have home field advantage, but they did that away with it. But, Are they useful? I don't know. I mean, in particular, in some cases, players decline not to play, or they're hurt, they can't play. Then you got to fill them in. Is that lowering the ambiance of what the All-Star game is? I don't know. But, they disrupt, they stop regular season play, and teams are hot, don't come back hot, or take the Major League Baseball home run derby. It changes some of these players' swing, and they don't have a great second half. There's so many cases to it. There's so many arguments to it. Are the All-Star games still valuable? I think for their sport they are. I mean, I think for the players they are. There are also bonuses if you get picked or be named to an All-Star team. But it has lost something. It has lost some kind of has lost its mystique. Okay, but you know what? All-Star games will be here forever. They're not going to go away. It's part of the sport. It makes a lot of money. I mean, just the money they're going to make off the Major League Baseball home run derby Monday night, and then the game is going to be unbelievable. Even the football and basketball All-Star games, the NFL, the NBA, they make so much money off it from the sponsors. It's not going to go away. Hate to say it. When it really comes down to how the coaches feel, it's all about the money. The money for the players, the money for the leagues. It's just unbelievable. But All-Star games will be here forever. I don't think it'll ever be. I don't think it'll ever go away. Is it useful? Yeah, monetarily it is. But as a fan, I'll watch the baseball and I'll watch the hockey. Very tough to watch the NBA when there's no defense. I mean, I know it's entertainment. I made a comment on social media about that, and I got ripped apart. It's entertainment, coach. You got to understand that. But, play some defense, okay? Not just run up and down the court. And, of course, football, you're not allowed to do half the stuff you're allowed to do in regular football games. Just tough to watch. So All-Star games will be there forever. All right. Other than that, I made it to an hour and 33 minutes for my man, the producer, Lawrence Bennett. He loves for me to go for 2 minutes, for 2 hours, not 2 minutes. I know some people like to go for 2 minutes and get off of here. But, I'm a realist. I'm a novice. I love what I do. It's a lot of fun, so I'll do this forever how long it is. And I think I got the man checking in right now, the man behind the scenes, Lawrence Bennett. Appreciate you, Lawrence. 1 hour and 33 minutes. Probably going to be 1:35 by the time I get out of here. And I really do appreciate your comment. It was a great show. Of course, John Nelson from Georgia Public Broadcasting Sports Department, the voice of Georgia High School football, and, of course, Kyle Lawson, my cohort on the Who's on First Base Baseball podcast, all part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network. We do a great job, and we love doing it, and I think we do a great job. Hopefully you do, too. You can go listen to it on TuneIn Radio. Just type in the Karl DeMasi Sports Report. All right, I'm out of here. Like I say every week, say a prayer for all those people in the Ukraine. Say a prayer for our crazy world with all this gun violence. Please, dear Lord, give us the faith that this is going to go away, hopefully sooner than later. And like I say every week, whatever you do today or tomorrow, always hit it out of the park. Until I speak to you next week, may it be best week ever. God bless. Be safe. You'll watch the Karl DeMasi Sports Report presented by Coach's Corner on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. July 8th, 2023. I'm out of here. Peace out.